Hi, hello everyone, and welcome to the Christina Nelson Show, where we talk to real people who motivate, inspire, and heal. And tonight I have a great woman who is going to tell us all about her story. And she is also an author, and she wrote this awesome children's book. And some days, well, right at this one, this copy is called "Some Days We." I know she's having another one coming out in September. It says "Some Days," and she'll tell us all about that. But it's a children's book, and it's inspired by her son, and it talks about MS and having MS, and it's really awesome. It's really cute, and I'll share with you in a while my favorite points in the book. But right now, I'm just going to introduce Julie Stamm. Yay!
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, and thank you for being my guest. Julie, go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, and all that good stuff.
Sure. I am Julie Stamm, and I am from Brooklyn and currently living in Brooklyn for 9 more days. We're moving to Colorado for a little bit more fresh air.
Wow, that's a big move right there.
Yeah, well, Adam, my partner's family is from there, so it's going to be really
Okay.
nice to have like grandma and grandpa right across the street and great grandma
Oh,
too.
that's gonna
So,
be great. Oh, wow, that's
hmm
awesome. Oh, that's gonna be good. As long as you're moving your family, it's always important dealing, especially when you're dealing with people like us, to have people,
oh yeah.
nearby, family nearby. Brooklyn, you're so close to me. It's like not even, I'm in Jersey, so
Oh wow. I didn't realize you were that. I was like, maybe
I
she's on the
didn't
east.
either. No, you're in Jersey. I mean, you're in Brooklyn, I'm in Jersey. Like not, I mean, I'm in central Jersey, so it's a little bit of a ride, but still, it's just funny how we're right that like close to each other. That's cool.
You are where everyone is wants to be right now. Everyone I know that's in Brooklyn is moving to Central Jersey.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Central Jersey is a really great in between spot. You can go to New York, you can go to Philadelphia, Delaware. It's really convenient in like a less than 2 hours, so it's good. But
Yeah.
we have you on here tonight to discuss your book, and not
Yeah.
only that, but your story. And so let's get started, Julie. How did all of this MS stuff start with you?
It started, everyone, it's the snowflake disease. None of us are the same, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has a different story. So mine took a really long time to get diagnosed. So when I was finally, it started in 2001, but I was finally diagnosed in 2007. So when I was diagnosed, it was such a big relief to like just
Hmm.
know what was going on and that I could do something once I knew. Because I felt like I just kept deteriorating. And like as I'm more disabled now in terms of like disease and progression and everything, like I'm definitely more physically disabled, but I'm less debilitated than I was when I was first diagnosed because I have a
Okay.
better handle on it. And I think getting that was like a huge deal, like just getting control and knowing, hey, all right, I'm going to treat this. I'm going to do what I need to do and I'm going to get through it.
Right. So what were your first symptoms? Like what made you say something's not right? Let me go check this out.
It's funny. So when I, in hindsight, it's so easy to decide like what was that. So
Yeah.
optic
Yeah.
neuritis was my first, but then I kept having like a UTI. And
Oh.
so I was like, and then my stomach was always upset and I was having, or it was just like a horrible time. And I was tripping. I used to be able to wear high heels and then I could no longer balance in them. So I was like, what is going on? And so honestly, when they said MS, I was like, okay, I got this. I can do this. This is not
Hmm.
as bad as all the things that were going through my head of what it could possibly be.
Oh, wow.
WebMD was big at the time. So it was just like, am I dying today? Is it a brain tumor?
Hmm.
But it took a really long time. And I wish I knew what I know now.
Yeah.
So I hope that people that have symptoms take them seriously and don't get dismissed.
Yeah.
And if you feel something's off in your body, tell the doctor something's wrong
Absolutely.
and don't let them stop and dismiss you. Like it's unacceptable. And I look back and I'm like, why did I wait years to be like questioning
Yeah.
someone saying it's just women's issues, like
Ugh.
I know. I was like, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure this isn't just a woman's issue.
Right.
But
Right, especially when you're younger and you're like, I can't be having women's issues right now. I'm just
I know. I'm like, what is
however old, you
happening?
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like in my 20s, my late 20s, and I remember, the same thing, just feeling like just off. And I unfortunately did not have Google or anything like that, but Google is the devil, I'm telling you, or
I know.
WebMD or any of those things, like
Oh,
because
I
you, like you
know.
said, you think something is more than what it is, and even though MS is serious as it is, it's still something that when you find out you had it, you're like, well, at least I'm not dying today, like
Yeah. Like
that's
not
how I
today.
felt. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I can live a long life and I'm good. But so you got diagnosed. Now, did you obviously you didn't have your son at this time. You just
No, no.
you went through life and you were kind of just living life. What did you do
Yeah.
as far as a career or anything?
Yeah. So I used to work in finance,
Okay.
and I couldn't maintain that career anymore. So I changed from then to become a patient advocate. I was like, I'm not going to let other people feel the way I felt. I felt like completely alone, and it took so
Mhm.
long, and like just having no one to turn to. My goal now from then was to make it not something that someone has to do alone. So I want to be there. When you're diagnosed, I want to be there to be like, it's going to be okay. They can't
Right.
predict the future. They told me I
Mhm.
wasn't going to be walking in 10 years. It's 14. I'm still walking,
Mhm.
so they can't predict it. No one can predict your future. So don't read all the stuff and just do whatever is right for you. I don't care what your treatment choice is, but
Yeah.
I do think you have to do something. You can't just be in denial. So I'm not saying it has to be a pharmaceutical, but there has to be something that you do to maintain control of this disease. It could be anything.
Anything.
But some people do it with diet, some people do it with prayer, some people do it with traditional medication, which is what I need.
Mhm.
But I think doing nothing is something that you would regret. So my goal is for newly diagnosed, especially, or even later, and to just know that you're in control. Like this disease doesn't, you have control.
Yeah.
There's going to be bad days and there are going to be horrible days, but you're in control of how you handle all that.
Amen to that. Yes. How about this book? This
Yeah.
book is adorable. I just some days
Thank
we it's
you.
it's adorable. I just got it. It's so cute. Tell us
Thank
the
you.
inspiration behind this book. What made you even want to like what made you say, let me write a book, you know?
Well, it's funny. I always assumed that there were materials out there for children because I hadn't had children and I never, but then I had my
Mhm.
son and I was always transparent with him about having MS. Even before he understood what MS was, if I was sitting on the floor, I'd be like, be my Superman and like help mama
Mhm.
up. But, like just to get him used to the
Mhm.
idea that one day I didn't need his help then, but one day, unfortunately, I might. And I want him to
Mhm.
just be kind and look around, notice his audience, notice his crew, notice
Mhm.
everyone, make sure you wait for everyone at the table to have food. So,
Mhm.
it's just one of those things. So I reached out to all the societies and on the internet and to look
Mhm.
at what there is currently available for kids his age. And there's nothing. I mean, there's some that are good resources for older, where when they're ready to talk about demyelination and relapses. Um, there's some that are good for if it's a secondary relative, like a grandmother or an aunt, but
Okay.
not a direct relative, like your mom or your dad. And so I
Mhm.
needed to change that. And I also needed to do it from the child's perspective because it really took talking to him to make me realize that it had to happen because the days in that book are my worst days as a mom. Those are the
Mhm.
cry myself to sleep. I'm not gonna. He deserves better. I'm the worst mom in the world, and I'm gonna stay up all night feeling horrible about that day that my legs didn't work. And I would talk to him about. I write him letters because I have
Mhm.
some cognitive issues. So I would talk to him about those bad days, and he saw them as great adventures. And I was like, "Wait, I'm messing up here. I have to listen to my child instead of telling him what he's thinking, or projecting
Yeah.
it on myself what he's thinking." And the minute I did that, it like transformed the way I parent because I was less guilty, which means I just talk to him like, "How was your day?" So we do the good part, bad part, crazy part every day,
Mhm.
before he goes to bed. So tell me what was your good part? And like some of his great parts are normally parts that I'm like, oh, that's done, like, uh, but he loves building special forts just for two. And he loves, cuddling on the sofa on those days. So I think just listening to your children is very important.
It's very important. Um, I did not have that when my kids were young. When I was diagnosed, I had a newborn. Well, she wasn't so newborn. She was about 6. She was over a year when I got diagnosed. But when everything started happening, she was very little. She was a baby. And then I had this 6-year-old and a 7-year-old, all these kids. And I had no way to tell them or explain to them. I did one trip take them to my neurologist, who was very gracious and very kind, and sat down with my kids to explain to them what was going on with their mother. I still don't think they caught on because I asked them years later if they remember that, and they were like, "You took us to your neurologist." I was like, "You don't
Like,
remember?" And they're like, "No, we don't remember that." And I'm like, "I so all of that was for nothing."
for nothing, right? I know. I
Right.
think about that all the time.
But if I had
I
had a
know.
book or something visual for them to like look at instead of seeing mom slowly, lose her um, s- balance or stability, and not be able to walk so good, and her legs hurt. And I remember they realized that, but if I had had something visual for them to look at and maybe read or explain to them, it probably would have went over a little bit easier. Now they're okay. Of course, they're grown children, but I do have
Yeah.
grandkids, and so I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what they think about this book and seeing how they relate to what they think about their grandmother, with this, with dealing
Yeah.
with this. I think it's really important for this to happen.
Me too. And I think it's good because COVID has really messed up a lot. But like doing school readings has been really rewarding for me because I
Okay.
can read it to children that have no relationship with MS, but they learn
Okay.
about people with different abilities. And so just talking to those children and explaining to them that this isn't something that we joke about. We don't make fun of people because they look different than us. We don't. I believe that my son is a kinder, more empathetic child because he's around this. And he has a beautiful life. I look at it, he's got a great life, but I think all parents in general feel guilt. Did I give him
Hmm.
enough vegetables today? Was I short? Did I make the right breakfast? And like
Hmm.
all of those things. And I think we all just have to give ourselves a break. And I think the book is to help the parents as well as the children to be
Yeah.
forgiving of ourselves.
I like that. Give yourself some grace, right? Like
Yeah,
that,
just a
it's
little.
okay. It's okay. You said something interesting about when you read to the children and having children saying, we don't make fun of people. I remember one incident. I was in the store and I got the little cart, the scooter, and I was riding
Yeah.
this scooter, and this little girl, I can tell the little girl kids were staring at me. One, people stare at me because I'm young and I'm in a scooter.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then another thing, these kids were staring at me, and I remember a little girl walked right up to me, and she was like, "Are you an old lady?" And I was so, I didn't. I probably didn't handle it as well as I could have, and I said, "Do I look like an old lady?" And I was just like,
Yeah.
like, "Do I look like
Like,
an old
where's your
lady to
mother?
you?" Right. And
Yeah.
she just said no, and then I just kind of rode off, and her mother
Yeah.
did. She called them over here. Come over, get over here. And I was just like,
Yeah.
wow. But having some type of something like that where somebody can come and explain to them certain things. They may never know anyone with MS, but they may see someone like me in a scooter or walking with a walker and look and say, wow, maybe I shouldn't laugh at that individual because
Yeah.
there could be something going on with that individual. And, maybe it'll be a little bit better for that person. So I
Yeah.
love that. So telling it
Thank you.
from your son's perspective, like how did that come about? Because I think I was expecting more you were sitting there telling him, I have MS and this is what it is, you know?
Yeah. I really wanted to capture the innocence of how a child sees the day. Like when we walk around, he'll see a
Hmm.
telephone wire and he's like, Spider-Man's been here. Like the world is different to kids. So I think it's important to see it from there. Like when we go to anywhere and he's finding the bathroom first, he doesn't care that mom might need the bathroom quickly. He cares that he's going to get a prize for finding it. Like
That's cool.
it's not to make light of the disease because
Right.
it's a horrible disease, but it has to be light to our children. We can't make them worry. We can't add stress to them. We have to comfort them. That's our job as parents, and we have to support them and let them know no matter what happens, it's all going to be okay, and we're going to get through it, and we're capable of getting there.
Do you think it's wise to prepare them for really hard days, really hard times? Like if
I
you're,
think,
really bad off, or I may have to go to hospital or type of things.
yeah, I think that's a really good question. It's a tough balance because um, I find if I mention too much about things, I don't want to tell him like I could end up in a wheelchair because I don't know that. I don't know how that's going to
Mhm.
work out. And if we get, I think taking it as it comes when that hard day does arrive, like my appendix ruptured, completely unrelated to MS. But that's not something I could have prepared him for. It's just something that,
Right.
we have to sit down and talk. And this is, so I think for me, I will go with the roll with the punches as opposed to prepare him for something that may never even come to fruition.
Okay. I like that a lot. I like that. So let's
Thanks.
continue on with with families. MS doesn't just affect one individual, as we know, and your children, but families as a whole. Now you have your partner, and how does that affect him? How did we bring him in this? Were you were diagnosed before you met him,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah. It's funny. Like when I went out, I met him, 8, 9 years ago.
Mhm.
And, um, I went out, we were talking at a bar and I'm just like very open about MS. So I like mentioned it. He was like, okay. Like it didn't
Mhm.
phase him at all. Like date 2, I was like, I have to use catheters. He was like, okay, I have to use glasses sometimes. Like nothing phased him. So I think finding someone that, because even though he doesn't have MS, he lives with it. Like my
Yeah.
limitations are his limitations. If I can't go somewhere, he's really not going to go with it. Like he's not going to go on these hot summer vacations because I can't
Right.
handle the heat. There are
Mhm.
things, so it does impact his life. But I think choosing someone that is willing to make those adaptations because you're
Mhm.
worth it. And I think realizing that you're worth it. I don't think having guilt over that because they have a choice. That's why
Mhm.
we aren't married. And I made that a very clear choice. I want him to choose me every morning, just like I look at his face every morning and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm so lucky, and
Mhm.
I want it to be a choice. And I never want him to be like, I have to stay with her because she has MS. Like, no, I'll be
Yeah.
fine. I am
I
okay.
get it. Mhm. I get that. I hear what you're saying. You don't have to want anyone to stay out of guilt or, feeling like they
Yeah.
have to or they're obligated to. You want them to choose you. And that's
Yeah.
so important for them to choose you, not just because of MS, but because they love you and they care about you and you have this
Yeah.
awesome family together and this cute little boy. And, you just want to make sure that everything goes well, and his future is okay, and he sees that mom and dad love each other and care about each other. And yeah, I have
Yeah.
my husband, he says yes, we are worth it. Yes, we are. We are worth it. I had to show that here. Yeah, he said yes, we are worth it. So
I love how you
we're
and your
worth it.
husband met.
uh,
I love that you guys, I love it.
yeah, a lot of people, like, they know our story and they love our story. We minister to a group of people who are diagnosed with MS, and we talk to them and minister to them about God and healing and loving yourself and being, um, not allowing negative thoughts to come into your heads. And we want people to realize that just because a negative thought comes in your head, you don't have to entertain it, you don't have to let it stay there. But we
Yeah.
can, be good examples to everybody around us and say, hey, you know what, I am more than able, I'm more than capable, I'm more than a conqueror. And just be strong and strong minded,
Yeah.
and that's it. And
And
so
your 3 kids are going to grow up and be stronger because of it. I,
absolutely. Oh, we have a daughter. Well, with our daughter, he has two children. I have three. He and
oh,
our
sorry.
um my oldest daughter is very, very keen in on it. She really understands it, and my other children do too. But she's the one that like kind of helps us out and everything as far as like a caregiver is concerned. So we
Yeah.
have people who are. She told me one day like I watched you when I grew up, and like I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's
No
great though.
idea.
I know it's funny how much we can hide from like you can't see pain. You could
Mhm.
feel it. Like we deserve
Mhm.
awards for how much we get through.
Mhm. Oh, that's sweet. So, what about the rest of your family? Do you have any other family members that are involved with you or involved in
Yeah.
this whole journey?
My older sister has MS also. So um
Really?
yeah, and
Wow.
completely different paths. She has two
Mhm.
beautiful, my nieces are two beautiful girls, and she's like a wonderful mom. She can run around. She can go from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. She's like superwoman. But it's it's weird because like everyone with MS, we all have different the ways that it impacts us. I
Mhm.
can't. So, but it's good to have her that we can just talk about it. It's nice to have
Mhm.
someone that gets it because they, as they say, like you don't get it until you get it, and I think that's
Yeah.
really true. Like people don't get it unless they're walking in those shoes. So, it's nice to have. I wish she didn't have it, but it's nice to have the support of and she's like my best friend anyway, so it makes it easy.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. Like I get it. My husband and I, we both get it. Like it's nice to have that person there that you can say I feel off today, and they're there and they get what you're saying, as
Exactly.
opposed to a person who you may say that to and they're just kind of like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Like, but do you still want to go out? You're like, no, I don't. Like,
I am tired. My tired is not your tired. We are not the
totally
same.
different. Totally different. Like, oh, did
Oh
you
my
wake up at
goodness.
6:30 one day? No, I don't. No. Take a sleeping pill and then work the day. Like, then live a normal life.
Exactly, exactly. Can you do that? I
Yeah.
wanted to show people this is my favorite part of the book. I just had to show this page, and it's her son trying to tell what say the word multiple sclerosis, and he says my mom has multi multiple sclerosis MS. And every day she has to use her superpowers to battle her MS. And it's so I just love it. I think it was so cute that you had him try to say or pronounce the word MS.
A lot
Because
of adults have a hard time. I mean, don't give me two
right,
glasses of words and ask me to two glasses of wine and ask me to say it. So like,
right.
it is
Multiple
a tough
sclerosis,
word.
yes. And spelling
It's a
about
hard
it,
one.
just forget it. If you have, if,
Oh,
don't tell me to
forget it.
spell it either off my. I'm glad for our phones being able to spell out words. Otherwise, I'm like,
I
how do
know.
you spell sclerosis? I don't
I
know.
know. I'm like, let's just come on. Yeah, I know. I know. Well,
MS.
that page is that's the easy way. That page is
Yeah.
still in the new version. So all of those pages are still in the new version
Oh, good,
um,
good,
of
good.
the book. But
So tell.
I can't wait to send you a copy of the new. You're gonna. It's
Oh, I can't wait.
You know, it's hard because like I self-published the first version because I
Mhm.
wanted my son to have it in his hands while it was relevant, while it
Mhm.
was his age. And I wanted to read to his friends while they were all young enough to really enjoy it.
Mhm.
But I learned a lot. And then it got so much attention from, like Selma Blair liked it and Montel Williams. And, like we got,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
Um,
cool.
Linda Carter, like the real Wonder
Oh
Woman
my
shouted
good.
us out.
Ah,
So we got,
wow.
yeah, we got a lot of good recognition, but most importantly is that a traditional publishing house picked it up. So now we'll have a wider reach and it's going to be hardcover and jacketed
Oh,
and
wow. That's
yeah, I'm
amazing.
really excited. So
Congratulations. That's going to be
thank you.
awesome. Oh, wow. That's
I
a
will send
great
you a copy
honor.
when it comes out.
Oh, please do.
Yeah,
Please do. And
I
I
will. I
that one
will.
stays here. I don't care. I don't have little kids anymore. I don't it's
Yeah,
mine.
keep it. Yeah, that's yours. It's so much better because there were scenes that we cut from the first one because we just like time wise, I didn't have time to wait for everything to come
Mhm.
together. But they're in this new version, so it's definitely this one's like my dream book. I
Mm.
couldn't be more proud of it. So I can't wait to have you hold it in your hands, and then maybe you'll
Oh,
bring me
that's
back
gonna be
on.
great. Yeah, right. Definitely. Definitely. Here's my husband says congratulations.
Oh, thank
Uh,
you.
Sandra Comer says nice, and
Thank you, Sandra.
oh gosh, and we have Yvonne Skinner. She says MS kids are strong for sure.
That is
Yeah,
right.
they know a different level of things. I like to read people's comments because I think it's cool to hear what people have to say. So we have Tracy McCabe, and she says, I have 3 children and 5 grandchildren. Me too, Tracy. I swear, 3 kids and 5 grandchildren, the same thing. She said, my son did his senior high school project on MS so he understands details. That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's an
That's
amazing
really
guy right
great.
there.
Save
Wow.
that project.
Yeah, oh yeah, you always have to have that one right there. And we have Inside Out, Khadija too. She says looking forward to it. Wow,
Aw,
that's
thank
amazing.
you.
She has young kids too, so that's great. That's awesome. Here we have Sarah. She says some days we have some days we has changed my life and acceptance of MS. My daughter loves SDW. Some days we.
Oh,
Aw.
I love Sarah. I know her. She's wonderful. Sarah, I love you.
Aw, that's so sweet. Oh, she
Yeah.
says to her daughter loves it. That's great.
Yeah, she
So,
reads her she I have a picture of her daughter reading
reading it.
her little girl reading my book. Oh, it's like and she's beautiful and perfect, so yeah.
Oh gosh, that's so great. What else do you have in store? Because this can't be it, right? You're on a
No,
roll
this is
now. Like you
not.
can't just have this one book and let that be it. You have to have something else coming
No.
out.
Yeah, I just finished book 2, but that won't be out until next September, not this upcoming September.
Hmm.
And I have, yeah, there's a lot of projects. Adam and I are thinking of starting up a support group for care partners because I feel like they're sometimes left by the wayside. So we're trying to support because they really are living with it too. So I think there's a little hole in the market. So we're going to try and we have a support group with 2 other MSers, one of
Yeah.
which who knows you I had dinner with last night, Anne Marie Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she, we with Hannah, we do a support group. So we're just really trying to work on, especially during a pandemic. I cannot imagine being
Mm.
diagnosed. So we're trying to help people and just create. That's the best thing about MS is the community that we have. You know, you could have called me on the phone and just been like, "Hey, I have MS," and we would have clicked. That would have been it. We'd be
Hmm.
like, "All right, we have something to talk about," and
Yes,
there's a lot to talk about.
a
So
lot.
yeah. So I
I
think
like
that
that.
I like that, there's a lot of negatives with the disease, but
Hmm.
the community that we have together is pretty spectacular.
It is. My husband and I, we have this gathering that we do every year, and we used to meet in person, but last year we could not, of course, because of the pandemic. So we did it virtually. But when we did meet in person, we discussed how much of a like we would talk to these people online and on phone and all that kind of stuff. But when we got together in person, it was like I know you forever. Like you're my
I
cousin
know.
from
It's
twice
true.
removed or something. Like we clicked. We all just clicked. We all got along really great, and it was just really nice to have people that understand what you're dealing with. And it wasn't. What we liked about it is that everyone was in there. We met in a hotel, and there was canes everywhere and wheelchairs and people that just walked and that didn't need any devices, but we didn't look at each other like. You get those other stares that some people look at you and they stare at I wonder what's wrong
Yeah.
with her. This young lady walking with a walker or a cane, and we didn't do any of that because we all just knew. We all just knew,
Yeah.
and
And that's it. You don't
that
have to
was a nice
explain
thing.
it. It's not like, were you skiing? What happened? Did you break your ankle? I'm like, no. you
I
know.
get that. Those are things. There was a woman. My husband and I get our groceries delivered, and I answered the door, and I had to walk her in front of me, and she's like, "Okay, bye. Hope you feel better." And I was like, "Okay."
Me too, but not like it's
It's
so
just the way
true.
they just assume that we're nothing's going on or something must have else happened to us in order for us to
Yeah.
be walking like that, or the inevitable. The My favorite one was years ago, getting out of a car And I didn't know, I didn't have a cane, I didn't have a walker, none of that. And I was just walking, and I remember I stumbled a little bit. And the next couple of days later, my friend, I was going to her house. She said, "You know, my neighbor was looking outside her window, and she said, 'Oh, I saw your house guest. I saw she had a little bit too much to drink.'" And we were like,
You're like, oh yeah, busybody neighbor.
"Yeah." I was like, "No." She was like, "No, she didn't. She doesn't even drink." And she was like, "No, no, she must have been drinking because she was kind of wobbly." And I was like, "Wow."
Yeah, you're like,
The
oh,
assumption. Oh,
yeah,
oh man, but you know what? You
yeah,
just keep going, and you push your way through, and you still believe, and you still believe in God, and you still believe that He's doing what He said He's going to do, and we love that sense of family for and community for that reason, is being able to
yeah,
love on each other and be there for one another. And if you had a crappy day, then I understand, because I had a crappy day the day before, and it's
yeah,
okay.
exactly. I love that. Yeah, and it's just such a they're the girls that there are three. We just had dinner last night, and we haven't seen each other in person because of the pandemic until
Right.
yesterday. But it was
Mm.
like to be reunited. It was like seeing family. It was like a family reunion. Just having
Mhm.
my girl. Like we've known each other for 14 years, and we're
Oh, wow.
getting through this together. We're all fighting
Mhm.
the same. You know, so it's
Same
nice to
battle.
have the community and just I can call them any day. They'll pick up and they'll be there for
Mhm.
me. And same if they call me. And I think
Mhm.
that's unique. Not every disease has that kind of
Yeah.
community.
Mhm. Absolutely. So right now I see a lot of people saying things, and I want to do a giveaway, and people who follow me know I love giving away stuff. I love to give, especially when I have an author. I love to give away their books, and people are always like. So we're going to give away this book right now. Um because I don't want you to wait till September, because I know you're like, I am not waiting till September. September is too long. So you'll get this copy, and then maybe if you do want to wait, maybe we'll still have a run for come September when we have you back to look at the new book, and then maybe we'll give
I
away
would
that
love
book.
that.
So I want to give away this book, and people are already saying they want one. Where can they get one? So if you don't win one, where can they get one?
Right now, you can pre-order on Amazon, and then on September 28th, it'll be available at bookstores and anywhere you would buy a book.
Okay, so you can
And hopefully
pre-order that.
libraries, so you can, if you
Uh-huh.
can't afford to buy one, you can always borrow one.
Oh, that would be great. That would be pretty awesome. Wow.
Yeah,
So what?
well, this one's in the Brooklyn Public Library. So if you need one and you're in Brooklyn, you can get one at the library here.
Hmm. So I'm gonna do a giveaway. I can't now. I want to know what. Okay, so she asked a question, or she said something earlier, and we have to see how well you guys listened. So now, gosh, it totally left my mind, and it's okay that I say that, because everybody on here understands right now. Total brain fog right now, but it's okay.
It happens.
Anyway.
That's
Anyway.
I am very used to that.
Right, right. So, okay. What job did Julie do before becoming a patient advocate? Not the patient advocate, but what was her job prior to becoming an advocate for MS? And it's the first one that I see, guys. It's the first answer that I see, that I will give this book to you if you listened. She did say it. Oh, Tracy said accounting.
Close.
Oh, yeah, it's close. It is
It's
close.
very close. I did say a vague answer, so
Yeah. So if no one else, you know what? I'm gonna give it to Tracy. I'm gonna give
yay,
it to Tracy.
Tracy.
Congratulations, Tracy. She has the three children and five grandchildren. Your grandchildren
Oh,
will probably love that. They will
oh,
probably
please let
love
me know
that.
what you think. I would love to hear if she likes it.
Oh, absolutely. So, Tracy, this is what you're going to do afterwards. You're going to come in. She says, "Yay!"
Yay.
Now, since you're on the Christina Nelson show page right now, you can go into the messaging and message the Christina Nelson show, and with your address, your information, until we can get that book to you. Yay!
That's so
Awesome.
great.
Awesome. I love doing that. I love things like that.
That's
It just makes me
awesome.
feel
Oh,
so
I
good.
love
Yeah.
it. That's amazing. Thank you. I did
Yes,
not
you
expect it. That's awesome.
You're welcome. No problem. And people were
Thank
always
you.
asking about it. And I know a couple of people who wanted they bought it. It was good. It was really it's really a good book and it's really sweet and really special. And I can't wait until the other one comes out. And I can't wait till after that when the other one comes out. And so
Mhm.
we'll have to just stay
Yeah,
long. We'll just have to stay friends. That's it.
that's it. Once we connect, you can't get rid of
That's
me. So
it. No, there's no way.
that's
We
it.
just have to stay friends now. It's okay. It's all good.
I love it.
Julie, do you have anything to say to our listeners right now? Maybe someone has a child and they're having a struggle trying to explain to them what all this is about. Do you have any encouraging words? I like to end with something encouraging. So
Yeah,
encourage a young mom or dad today.
I think try and remember that you can't predict the future. It's so important that we're always worried about, like, what if I can't do this tomorrow? What if I can't do this the next day? Focus on now, like what you can do and what life you can give your child. And even if you haven't had a child yet and you're thinking of having a child, realize that you can adjust and adapt. We never thought that we'd be able to get through COVID. None of us. We would have never dreamed this, but adapted, and we're all fine. Not all of it, but we all are more resilient than we give ourselves credit for, and children are especially resilient. It's just a testament to them that they get it. Even if we don't tell them, if we try and hide it, they notice this stuff. So I personally think it's important to be as honest, but not doom and gloom, obviously. And there's always the old, once they get into electronics, you can compare it to your battery on your phone, and there's ways to make it fun for them. And you can have your own little MS obstacle course for them. Make them wear glasses with Visine in one eye, Vaseline on one lens. Make them stand on a balance ball. Make them experience it, so they're a little bit more empathetic, I think.
Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Very good ways to get a child to understand what's going on here. That's good. Or anyone, any family member.
Thanks.
There's a couple of people I would like
Yeah,
to pull pull into that
I
that
know.
balance ball thing. Stand here on this
Yeah,
balance beam with one
obstacle
leg and let's
courses. It's
walk.
great.
Yes. I would love to see that.
I know. Pick this up with an
Okay.
oven mitt. It's like, there's a
Right.
couple.
Exactly. Exactly. That's a good challenge. Okay, guys, listen. Thank you, Julie, for being my guest today. I really appreciate it.
Thank
And we're
you.
hoping to see, absolutely, you're welcome. We're hoping to see more of you in the future, to see your name. I want to see that uh, on Good Morning America or something.
Me too. Maybe in
Like
September.
Robin Roberts will
Yeah.
come and be like, I have Julie Stamm on here, and she wrote these books, and she's just amazing, and that would be awesome.
That's the plan. So hopefully.
Yes. One day it's going to happen. Yes. So thank you once again. And everyone, thank you for tuning in to the Christina Nelson Show, where we motivate, inspire, and heal. And don't wait. I will not have a show next week, but don't forget that May 14th through the 16th is the Huddle Marriage Retreat. And if you're a couple, if you're engaged, if you're thinking about getting engaged or thinking about being a couple, then this is for you. 3 days of just some fun and just some games. And we're going to pretend that we are in Jamaica, man. So you're going to want
Nice.
to see this. Yes, Montego Bay. So let's see what we can do here and have some fun. Thank you, everyone, once again. And have a wonderful day. Everybody saying thank you and have a wonderful
Thank
night.
you.
Everyone, God bless you. Thank you so much. Julie, just stay on for one
Thank
second.
you. Yeah.